we got moved to their fitness room up at the attic. They had a
full gym up there, right?
Full gym, yeah.
Youth house squat gym.
Yeah.
And they were playing there, and they had bars in the room, and it was just like, and it was super tight, and there were no stage. It was just a floor show.
Yeah.
And
just like around all these weights and equipment and shit. That's crazy.
It was
exactly, yes.
Talking here at Hiraki, we messed up some audio. So let's start with for those who you are, what you do in the band.
Yes, I'm Ture. I play guitar.
I'm John, and I do synth and vocals.
And I'm Tim, and I do drums and backing vocals.
Alrighty. We should probably go over how you came to your name again. So your name is Hiraki. It seems like it's just a Japanese surname. What does it mean exactly?
It's the Danish pronunciation of hierarchy, but spelled wrong in both Danish and English because it looks better. Tim and John works as graphic designers, and it's just more beautiful this way.
Yeah, it does look really good.
And it also with the whole topic thing about like the themes and the lyrics, it also makes sense with the different kind of society hierarchies that we kind of tap into and like write about in a lot of ways, like us being part of that and the interactions between the different sections of society as well. Yeah, so the hierarchy.
Right. Seems like your lyrics are super important to your sound. I just want to go over a little segment here from your song Wander Hunt, because it's the only song with lyrics available online from this album, so you guys got to post those up. But we have chasing goals with cellophane, strings through your neck, breaking bills from day to day, from market to man, repent and repent, shut the fold, let it in, haul it in, cellophane, blackened tongue, wooden knee, blackened lung. And they're amazing lyrics. A lot of bands will try to do the whole metaphor thing and just completely mess it up, and you're wondering like, what the hell was that about? But this, it's beautiful, dark, and it's easy for people to like understand and actually grok what you're talking about. There's really good.
But
Really
actually, Chris, there's a new story to this, because John, he actually, for the first album of the EP we did, it's just a question I have for you, because prior to that you've been writing stuff like, because I had the feeling that when we did that one, you had some text or some lyrics that you've been like doing in the dark.
I had it hidden away.
Exactly.
Yes.
So there was a little poet hidden in you somewhere. But for this, it was just a blank paper.
Yeah.
For this album, it was actually, there was nothing, right? Or did you have anything?
No. And as I said as well, I hadn't really written anything or hadn't written lyrics before I started the band, but I had kind of tapped into the thing about trying to write, maybe not poetry, but just write some kind of visual, visual kind of, I don't know, just throwing words in a lot of ways. Yeah. That is probably just poetry, as it is actually.
It is poetry. It's really good.
But yes, but not in a way saying that I want to do poetry now, but just wanting to like write words and just see like where would it go. And that's where the first EP had some of those parts where you're totally right too, that at this point it was totally blank in a good way, but also in a very fucking frustrating way, because trying to figure out the whole thing about, as I said, like being very visual and then putting words on that. Right. Like my job is taking other people's words and making them visual. So taking my own visual thoughts and then putting those into words, that's just like the backwards way of doing it in a lot of ways, which is really fucking hard for me, but also very intriguing. And that's probably why it's very like punchy in a lot of ways, that it's like the thoughts and the things we talk about that I kind of try to translate into something that is visual in a lot of ways. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of feeling behind him. It feels very personal too. Like I said,
Very personal.
amazing lyrics. You guys have a description of your music on your Bandcamp. HIRAKI is a new constellation out of Aarhus, Denmark, playing aggressive progressive noise rock from the edge of the world's abyss, proletarian narcissism, Kafkaesque individualism, and narrow-minded upper-class modernism. HIRAKI is society decay in a futuristic perspective played loud. So you're aggressive progressive noise rock then?
We guess so, yeah. But actually, we've been called a lot of other genres as well: synth punk and progressive noise, hardcore, and stuff like that. And actually, we don't really care what we call our music. We just want to play it, and if we change genre, we just do it because we have this freedom. That was our dogma from the start, that we don't want to limit ourselves to genres. We want to just do what sounds cool for us, of course.
Lots of comparisons to the Arm and Daughters and stuff.
Yeah. But also very interesting actually to hear the whole industrial part of it as well. Actually,
a lot of people have mentioned industrial.
Yeah.
But it's what is it even?
But we talked about it, like for me industrial is like the whole 90s thing as well, which I've not in that way like dived into, but of course heard like bands in like and also the more metal band that kind of transcended over, that had that industrial feeling to it as well, into the what's called oddities. But also like some has mentioned like no wave inspirations as well, where like where the fuck did that come from actually? But I can kind of see like going into that as well, and some has mentioned like Swans, which kind of came out from that whole kind of no wave era. So
even Sex Pistols.
Yeah.
Someone's compared you to Sex
I think
Pistols before? Okay.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably because we listen to a lot of different music that has listened to that whole kind of industrial and no wave.
Yeah.
In like in newer times that are the stuff that we're listening to.
And I think for bands like Daughters and Beyond, it's more a question about that they are like bands who are able to make music freely in a really good way. I mean, they're genre-less, and they're doing that good, and that's very inspirational actually to hear bands who feels like they're doing what they do without any limits or any boundaries or something like that, and. Yeah, but it will never be the same. It would not be possible to. I would like to see that for guys like us to meet and say we would like a band to make a band that sounds like Leon. It's not possible, right? Because Leon is the product of some people or one people, or it's crazy with that band, but it's a product of those individuals with a certain history, and we are individuals with another history. So, but
and we wouldn't be able to go and say we wanted to listen like any other band, because we would fuck it up in some way.
Yeah.
Either way, because
also, we do not have the like technical skills to do that.
No, but we would want to do something different, or just fuck with it, like or get bored in some way.
Yeah,
because it's a gut feeling. It's like the whole thing is a gut feeling. Like especially like I could come with something, and Tua and I could easily have like something going on saying this is really fucking nice, and then Tim could come in and like, nah, let's try something else, and then we would try something else and like go through, and it's like, okay, yes, fuck yes, this is how we should do it. Or you would come with something and I would be like, okay, let's try and mix it all up and let's get to it to do some guitar shit on it, and like So it's
Some guitar shit.
yeah, like you do this Norse. Yeah. That would be the case.
Yeah.
Sometimes like two would come with something like that he had you had composed, and we would make a song from that, or I would come with a like computer composed track and say, I want a guitar saying like, and I'm like, what? Yeah, and we're like, and then we would try that, and it was like, okay, sorry, that won't work. and then we would try something else. Yeah. So it would very much be a trial and error and a gut feeling in a lot of ways, like going where we all three could say like, this sounds really fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So
do you ever like bring lyrics first? Is lyrics ever the first thing that goes into a song?
No,
but topics maybe.
Topics would like, yeah. Because we would of course be sitting talking about what we would be seeing on the news, or someone would come in and talk about something about their daily life in some way that and as we said, like, we're really, really good friends, so we talk about basically everything. Like there's nothing really hidden between us. So it's we are very personal with each other. So it would just be in a lot of ways just topics, and those would be kind of giving us a feeling about what kind of state are we in now. Are we happy? Are we sad? Or are we angry? Are we happy angry? Or are we...
What would it be, happy angry?
Happy angry.
That would be Peach Lung.
Yeah.
If you know that song.
Yeah.
I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know the song names. I just know like the little hooks and stuff. So you guys. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No. You're good.
We could easily give the feeling that we wanted to just do something like really punchy, like just to get kind of get a happy aggression out in some way, just getting something out. And that could easily be just having something, especially like Peach Lung, just like having a punchy kick, like this is actually what we want to go with. And then, yeah, we had Anders Jørgen Mogensen on the track, which was a...
That's how you say his name. Okay.
Yeah.
I got him written down here because I was going to talk about the guests that you had on there. But, okay.
We can take that
later.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it's whatever. I was actually going to go right into the recording process. So you guys recorded this yourselves, right, at a Cube of Eternal Doom studio?
Yes, we did.
Cube of Eternal Doom. That's pretty intense.
Yes, yeah. It's actually these two guys' old band studio that you made yourself, right? Maybe it's...
and calling it a studio, it's basically a room with a wall, right? and it's really tiny.
And a window.
That's a window in the wall, yeah, exactly.
It's my we made it 11 years ago.
Yeah.
It's my brother's. He has a farm, and it's an old apple farm. So they had a freezer room where they would put the apples in. So there's no windows in it, and we just took everything out and we built a room inside the room. So it's an old freezer room with no windows that we just made into a rehearsing / studio.
And when you're in there, there is no like telling whether it's day or night, right?
No.
Because there are no windows. So once you're in there, it could be like times just flying. At one point, actually, Martin, our old friend, he like the only thing was like the computer in the tracking room. He removed the clock in Windows, so there were literally nothing saying whether it was like a morning or night, or it's just fantastic. Because once you're there, then you're there. And
it can become pretty weird, yeah. Because
I was gonna say that has to be
you,
really disorienting.
you completely lose track of time. It's like the casinos where you go in, or
Yeah.
yeah,
So that's why it's the cube of Eternal Doom, because a cube because it's super tiny, right?
Yeah.
And
and it's
just-
eternal.
and it's just like
Yeah.
going on, right?
But it was really nice having that, and is really nice having that, because we could just like come and go when we wanted, and just track like the day and night. And
So yeah, and a lot of the tracks actually they're composed in the studio, or like they're finalized in the studio, because when the rehearsal part of the room is super tiny. So when we're playing very loud, and it's really hard to tell what people are playing at some point. But then once we actually trying to track it, then you're able to say, okay, you're playing B flat, I'm playing B. Okay, shit, that's just fucked up. Let's try and correct it somehow, or maybe not, or whatever. But yeah. But it allows us to drag the process over a long time, because we're able to come and go whenever we want. It's not like we booked like 2 weekends or 2 weeks, and now we're in the studio. We're in the studio all the time. And
Also, when we play live, we're still in the studio refining the tracks.
definitely.
Sometimes we just take some sketches and play them live. Maybe there's not even lyrics on there yet, and we just try them out and see if they work live, and then come back to the studio and finish them.
That's awesome. So the sound's just constantly evolving then.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, but it's in like it's a huge privilege that we have that place, but it's also kind of like it's a blessing and a curse in a lot of ways, because when do you stop producing?
Right, that was my next question, is when do you stop it? Because I make my own music too, and I mix and master and stuff, and it could take me months to get like a good mix down, because I'm just constantly nitpicking it. I'm sure it's like awful for you guys.
And when do you have someone saying this is enough, like, and we could easily go into it, and also being that we're like friends, and like when do we say to each other like stop now, this is now, it's done, like, and how far can we take it? But I think
honestly, I think it comes very naturally.
it did.
It's like,
because we know if we refine the stuff too much, then we would actually ruin the sound, because we want to sound really
Organic.
And somewhat not polished, and we don't want to control the chaos too much. That would ruin the record and the track. So we know that when we go into the tracking sessions.
Yeah. And then we're gifted with the fact that we are not mixing engineers. So we have our friends, one of our friends helping us setting up the stuff, and then we just try to not fuck it up. But eventually we will fuck it up, right? Because then you put your glass and you're in, oh, that was a failure, oh shit, and it was like something like that, and
or you forgot to like tune the drum, or like then it just went like from this to this, like, okay, fuck that shit. Like,
because you're rolling, man, just keep playing, man, whatever, it's not like two
You actually
notes.
tune the drums? I didn't know that you could do that.
they were tuned to start with, but yeah.
Okay, it wasn't me.
So how long did the actual recording process take then?
I think about a year.
Yeah.
To be honest.
But stretched over, because you had like really tense, like 3 days.
Yeah, of recording
of drum recording.
Yeah.
And then we would kind of have a break, maybe for a week or 2 weeks, and then we would go back, and then you would listen to it and maybe do a take or two or something, but otherwise that would be it. And then it would be like synth, and that could easily take like 2-3 months, but it would be like taking 1 day and then taking, like, we would go, like, because we had to fit it into our personal lives in a lot of ways. So we couldn't go into the whole saying, now we're going 2 weeks full on.
But we were composing at the same time.
Exactly, yeah, and trying stuff out.
Yeah.
But
and COVID.
Yeah, and COVID
as well
yes,
hit.
yeah.
So
Of course.
Actually, we were actually in the rehearsing room when Denmark locked down. So we had the thing where we were just like we were playing and like doing stuff, and then I remember like my wife called me and was like, "Did you see the news?" And we put it up like Denmark's closing down. Like, fuck. Like,
That was a crazy feeling.
what to do now? Yeah.
Did y'all record stuff from home then, or did y'all just like use a studio like one person at a time or something?
Actually, we had a break for a long time there.
Yeah.
I remember, and then we went in like one-on-one, and then we could do the tests and then come in each other together as well.
Yeah.
And like do it safely. So that kind of stretched it as well, like the whole lyrics part especially.
Yeah.
You guys had a couple guests on here. I have no idea how to say the name. So, Kara Dolshagen of The Armed. Is that how you say her name?
She's American, so the way you would say it would be the correct.
Kara Drolshagen.
Drolshagen. Okay, I like
Drolshagen.
that.
It actually sounds Dutch.
Yeah,
So I googled her name and I saw that it said that she was in The Armed, but she's not on The Armed's wiki page. So is she really in The Armed? Because I know the band like fucks with their audience a lot.
It's a good question, man. It's a good question.
We should ask Kara.
Yeah. We can hear her on the new record, Ultra Pop, many places, but I have no idea if that is her real name or not.
Okay.
Honestly. I hope so.
You also had Ricky Fink on New Standards, and her voice is amazing. Oh my god, that added so much to that song. That's my favorite guest spot for you that was on there.
That's super nice because everybody is so stoked about Kara from The Armed, so that's really nice. Yeah,
that's really nice. Yes, she did an awesome job.
Yes,
where is she from? Is she in like a band or something? I never heard of her before.
Her solo name is Grizzly Tears.
Okay. I
no one knows.
Still. Yeah,
no.
But it was actually a really interesting track to do because that was one of the really produced tracks that we actually made in the studio.
Yeah.
It kind of became over time like just having like the beat and then putting on synth and then putting on guitar noise and then doing like noisy stuff. And then
cutting up the drums.
You did. Tim did did a full drum track that I put in Pro Tools and did like full on cut paste cutting, like just putting in, just like setting it up because I didn't know any other way of doing like glitchy drums, and there were a lot of shitty plugins. But it ended up being very manual.
Manual glitchy drums,
manual just... cut paste. That's the way to go.
Honestly, I think that's what a lot of bands do. Actually, is just like completely like produce their drum tracks like that. Actually,
but it's also having a feeling with it because we had an idea that we wanted these glitchy drums that would kind of like cut up, and if we wanted to talk influences like the body. And kind of have that kind of feel of glitchy drums, like going with something like that, and just having Tim like do really like just having
really heavy
just having the synth going and a metronome and just saying like Tim just like do and just like totally actually have the whole industrial and like all the way on the beat like doing something. We had a really cool session with that, and then ending up with it saying, "Tim, I'm gonna cut these drums. I'm gonna fuck the drums up." Yeah.
So I'm not able to play them live. That's a bummer, but.
And then Tim actually had a personal contact with Rikke and contacted her, and she wrote this amazing lyric, and we were just like. Yeah, shit, that's just fantastic.
And we gave her some topics, just really basic, but other than that, it was just her just showing up with some lyrics and just like going in, and we just set it up and just having a mic in the rehearsing room.
Actually, she sent us a copy of her like whispering it because of her newborn baby was sleeping behind her. So it was just like she was just like actually because she's a singer, right? But she didn't want to sing it, so because of the baby, so she was just like singing, and it was just like, yes, that's the way it's gonna be. It's it's just amazing, and yeah. And she just popped out of the studio and did the whole thing in 2 takes, and then we were good. Yeah.
Yeah, like I was saying, it's really, really good. It's one of the high points of the album for sure. You guys also had, you said the name way better than me, Anders Jorgen Mogensen? Is that
Anders Jørgen Mogensen. Yeah.
And he's a legend, right?
He's a Danish legend.
He's a Danish legend.
I see he's in a lot of groups, but I've never heard of any of them.
No, actually, he's from the same town as me, in a small town in Denmark, and I listened to them to his old band called Kloak very much when I was younger, and they at one point split up. But that was one of my biggest inspirational when growing up, listening to Kloak, because they were just up there and out of this world. They made again their own sound, and I have never heard a band sound just like them.
Well, it's cool you get to work with like your inspiration then. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. That was the high point of this album, was actually working with Anders. For me personally, it was a blast, and we sent the track to him, and he was full on at the first listen, and he just nailed it, the perfect in the perfect way. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But that was actually also, the track was actually me bringing at first just a simple kick snare beat.
Yeah.
That I said we have to do something with this, and then Tim actually took over, and then suddenly just added like soundscapes and like other stuff to it. And I was like, we have to take this to a whole new level.
Yeah.
And they were like, we have to get Anders on this.
Yeah.
Let's fucking do this. Yeah. This could be like, so it started out as just kick snare. Like, can we use this to being this?
Yeah, because it was very
full-on bastard,
very techno, industrial Berlin underground electronic sound.
Yeah, EDM. EDM.
Almost like EDM. Yeah, but we wanted to make it somehow. How could this sound like us in a more chaotic way? And I really think the Tool also brought some very cool guitars to the mix, and yeah, and with Anders participating was just a dream come true.
But he also like just did. We sent him the track, sent him some thoughts, and we're like, please could you just like do your thing on this? Yeah, he was like, yeah, that's how I work the best.
Yeah.
And he just sent back and was like, holy shit. This is like the essence of Anders then, exactly.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's him in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
And there's new Gulu Gulu record coming soon. Anders' band.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that sounds amazing.
Shit, yeah.
I need to check this guy out if y'all dig him.
Really gotta check that band out. Yeah.
So, well, he just left, but John did the cover art. That was the next thing I'm gonna get into.
Yeah, we can talk about that for sure. Yeah. That's right.
So maybe we should wait till he gets back here. But you guys also did some music videos. Well, you did only one for this album, but you've done a couple other ones. I'm gonna play it for us. I think it's going. Yeah, it's going. Okay, cool. So yeah, you did a music video for Wonder Hunt, which is basically just John running around and dancing and stuff. What was the inspiration behind this?
Actually, it was also John's idea. Oh, sorry. I think he had an idea for himself, Jon. So he actually made the whole storyboard, and then we tuned in at some point, and then it actually ended up being not a a only John idea, but also a whole collaborations of ideas that just tapped into this theme and of a person just having the worst of his life.
Yeah, just.
Okay. See, what I thought it was about was like you constantly having to like move and like being addicted to like technology and stuff like that, and it kind of seemed like that part was like dying and then he gets reborn, but I'm not completely sure how it was supposed to be.
Wow.
Is that not it?
That sounds awesome. Can you tell us more what you think about that?
That's all I know, man. That's just what I was gathering out of this one. Because he's got like the little mask and he pulls away. We just saw that part, and then he like collapses into the ground. Hey, John's back.
Hey, sorry.
So we were just talking about your video for Wanderlust.
Yes.
What's it about? They said it was your idea.
Yeah.
Wonder Hunt.
It's basically about like searching for the perfect and beyond, like going where you kind of want to go, but it's not enough. You want to go further, and then you kind of have the sub notes about what's it called, stimuli. Stimuli. So that could be anything. That could be alcohol. That could be internet. That could be
technology.
Technology.
Right?
It could be anything that kind of do you say
Stimulates, yeah.
Stimulate you. Yeah, stimulate you in a lot of ways. Sex, whatever the fuck it could be. But being at a point where you kind of just you want to go beyond and go more and more and more and more and more. And when is it enough? Like where do you actually want to go? So that's the wonder hunt. You're hunting the wonder of something that you kind of can't reach.
That's awesome, man. Like, and y'all's videos are so good. It's so well produced. It looks super slick, man. Like a actual studio put this stuff out. So is it just you guys recording it yourselves, or did y'all have help doing this?
This was actually the three of us in a car driving around for 24 hours at various locations that we like pre-scouted, and then just fuck, that's the plan, and we need some. It was actually a very loose plan.
we tried to do a storyboard for it, but we had some loose ideas, but it still ended up being like, I know this location, let's go there. And like Chua had this really fucked up squat that was so fucking scary. I can't remember when I've been that scared, actually.
It was super scary, right?
Like it was near a railroad,
Yeah.
and you had like freight trains like going by, and it was just so dark, and you had so much like eerie fucking graffiti all over.
And you knew you could actually stumble into homeless people or drug addicts sleeping there, but thankfully there wasn't any at that.
We had it completely for ourselves, and it was really nice. But you had some really, really weird messages written on the walls, and you had people like doing like holes into the what's it called? Keeps the plywood, not plywood. What's it called?
Yeah, whatever. Walls.
Yeah, the dry walls into a room that we were like, where is that room actually? Like, it would be a room that wouldn't exist, and like you could see people wanted, like, I want to go in there, and then they just started like stabbing into some wall. So we used that for actually one of the shots in the video.
And
me going into the dark. That was actually just going into a completely dark room.
Yes.
That was so fucking
It might be
scary.
filled with like drug addicts and like homeless.
And it was just like.
Did you not see what was in there before you went in?
No,
We didn't.
No, because we couldn't see anything. Like we had flashlights, but the whole building it was a massive building. It had been some like corporate thing.
Yeah, many stories.
Yeah, in like 3 stories, and what some people had parked a car in there as well in the
in the building.
In the building. I don't know why, but yeah.
Dude, that's
But to
wild.
answer your question, yes, we do all make all of our videos ourselves.
Oh yeah. One of the best parts of this video that I really liked was you screaming, but it wasn't like the audio from the song. It was just you like actually screaming, just being on the ground. That was so
was
good.
intense.
It's so raw and yeah, exactly, intense. Like absolutely amazing.
And the thing is that it's super authentic because that was actually one of the last shots we did.
Yeah.
And John was dancing for 24 hours, literally. We slept like 4 hours. And when he was walking into the car just before that, his knees were just like, shit, I can't take this shit anymore. I'm just...
It did do a lot of dancing,
Yeah, so it was just like, yeah.
Speaking of dancing, there's another video you guys did from your last one where you were dancing too. I think it's Burlo, was it? Bushk? Is that what it is?
Brusk. I think it's actually the same in English. Brusk.
I've never seen that word before.
Okay. It can mean that you're kind of like you're brusque, but in Danish it's in the bone. You have the white part. The kind of
The marrow?
the kind of the rubbery part that you have on your bones. It's called brusk.
So it's not the marrow, but it's like a hard tissue. in a way.
Cartilage.
Yeah, cartilage, exactly. It's kind of the thing that holds the bones together.
Yeah.
And when it's not there, then you're fucked. So that's basically the song. It's brusk, like.
Dude, that's such a good concept for a song. Oh my god.
Yeah.
You guys are great.
It holds everything together, and when it's not there or when it dissolves, then you end up being a miserable bastard, hating the world.
And actually, the
basement.
that video is shot in the basement of my old office, which was like a fancy office on the first floor, but in the basement it used to be a tobacco company where they had this like dressing room or something like that, and it was just like when you get down there, it's just like, whoa.
We're going back to the 70s. Or
Exactly,
something.
exactly. It was just a perfect location, right? So yeah.
Yeah, we really wanted what's it called, the washing.
You know where you
Laundry.
Laundromat, like a
yes.
laundromat thing, and we actually ended up finding one, but it was too expensive. So we wanted to like just have the feeling of these three individuals being somewhere and having something in common, but nothing in common in a lot of ways. And then it actually ended up being, instead of the laundromat being these three people kind of like, do they work together or what is it actually they do? But there's just this weird tension and eerie thing.
Yeah, y'all did it like making something that's kind of innocuous be really like terrifying, actually, and like unnerving. This is like perfect, like perfect example of this, like for your videos. Just the way that they like stand, like hiding like their head, or like with the shot where you have like the pipes going in front of like your eyes and mouth, like stuff like that's so freaking creepy, man.
It is. Yeah, it is.
It's awesome. You guys also did a really cool one. I didn't have it queued up to show, but I forgot what it was for now. You did a lyric video with a bunch of made up horror cult classics.
Yeah, the VHS thing.
Yeah, whose idea was that? Because that's amazing. How did you even get those printed? John, you come up with all these awesome ideas. It's awesome.
Yeah. I actually, or I used to. It's been a long time, but I actually collect VHS horror movies.
Okay.
So I have a huge stash of old horror VHS stashed all around the city.
You know how it's done, right? Yeah.
Well, those are made up
yeah.
videos, though, right? Or
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I made the covers and printed them, and then put them in cassettes, and then like put them all over all the other VHS cassettes, because I kind of wanted the feeling exactly like, because I love the whole feeling of the old horror movies or sci-fi movies where they had like conceptual artists do like the whole current of artistry of the movie, and that would be the thing. And I love finding those VHS where you could see they put so much love into the cover, but the movie could be like shit.
Right.
The budget for the cover could be higher than the budget for the movie actually. but the cover would sell the movie, and yeah. So that was kind of what I wanted to go with, and yeah, just the love for like the whole visual part and the analog as well. Yeah.
And you did that yourself, right?
Yeah, that was in the living room at night. Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy, man. I can't believe that. Y'all did so good on all these videos. I'm showing the one for Soft Tusk now.
Chris, exactly. The one you're showing now, that was actually the kickoff for this. That was the first thing we did, the three of us together in Tim's basement. And it was like, I think it was like a really good like entrance for us to really feel, okay, this is a big part of HIRAKI as well to do this. Yeah. We just have so much fun, and it's, yeah, we can the music comes through in another way now because we can make this crazy stuff and actually pull it off and make it look amazing. So
yeah. But also because we want to as well, and also because in Denmark, like we know it's fucking expensive to get people to do music videos for you. So it's like, I know we're sitting here drinking all the wine, but it's not that we could just go out and say we want a music video. Fuck it, do it.
Right, dude. I totally thought y'all had a huge production behind you. Like I thought that these would have cost thousands of dollars to make, but y'all just doing it here like by yourselves. It's amazing. But
it's also because we want to do it, and in a lot of ways we can.
We have the luck that we all work within these fields somehow in our day jobs, right? Yeah. So that helps a lot, right?
Yeah. But also it's like I know for my part of it, it's also kind of hard sometimes letting go and having someone else envision something that is so personal and close to us. Like I would love it, and we've discussed it a lot of times, like let's get someone to do a video for us.
And it will happen.
And it's gonna happen at some point, but it's also really hard, like letting go and like having someone else do it when we know that we can do it.
Right.
Honestly, I'd be afraid if somebody else did it, like instead of you guys, because.
I mean, for you watching Wonder Hunt, right? You see John dancing to the lyrics and the music that he wrote himself and produced himself in our own studio, right? It's really like not the first level. It's like the third or fifth layer to the whole thing, right? It's really like coming down to he's moving the way. Maybe he thought about moving that when he actually sang the lyric on the record, right? Or wrote the lyric. Maybe he didn't, but the whole thing is coming together in a way.
Right. It's all adds up to one big package that is just amazing on all fronts, I feel.
And cheap.
cheap. But you only have one video for this new one. When are the other ones coming out?
It's soon, very soon.
Soon.
Yeah.
Actually, we have a few in the making, right?
Yeah. We actually have two in the making. One is gonna be it's actually gonna be animation, like full on.
Which you guys did? You guys did the animation for it? Or
yeah, I'm making it.
Dude, that's
I'm making
awesome.
it right now.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Oh, there.
So why not get these finished and get them out before the album dropped? Was it like COVID stopped things for you guys, or what happened?
No, just life happening, right? Sure. That's the downside of doing things yourself, that you have to do it yourself, right? You only have 24 hours a day, right? And
like we could pay a lot of money, and that would be a lot of money in Danish money if we wanted something that we want, or we could make it ourselves. But it's always like then it's on the premise of us doing it and then doing it in the time that we can and we manage, and also putting the love into it instead of us saying to someone, do this now.
Exactly.
We want this. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Keeping it like so that you know exactly what you mean and you can present it exactly the way that you want to. That's why I would never want to see somebody else do one of your videos. Like, I'm sorry, but holy shit,
It's probably
these
gonna
are some of
happen
the
at
best
some
music
point.
videos I've seen. Like, honestly, they're so good.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Much appreciated.
So looks like you have a couple of shows scheduled, like, coming up. So how confident are you guys that these are going to actually happen?
Pretty good. We played 2 weeks ago.
Oh, did you?
Actually, yeah, it's possible now in Denmark. Actually.
Oh, nice. Okay. I was talking to somebody from, I want to say it was Sweden or something, and they were saying that they still weren't able to get shows going. So that's awesome that you guys are starting to get back out there.
But for a seated audience, that's the trick.
Okay.
People have to sit. Yeah, and that's yeah. You're laughing, right? Because can you imagine that?
And on a fucking big stage.
And the thing is, we played 2 weeks ago for a small festival, or actually, it's
It's a big festival, yeah.
they called it a Colossal Weekend in Copenhagen, where they have like international names playing. Like next year will be Russian Circles and stuff like that playing. And we were scheduled to play there, but of course the foreign bands were not able to play, so they like narrowed it down to be just a one-day festival with Danish bands just playing the one major huge stage instead, and that was just sick, right?
Yeah.
How
They
big is
got
the
a-
stage?
I mean, it's 1,500 standing spectators, but it was narrowed down to 500 seated.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, that was amazing. It's just this old, beautiful hall. You should go check the pictures because it was something, right? And yeah, but at least just live music slowly finding its feet again. It's
Right.
fantastic,
Yeah.
right? And
And people had a good time. You could easily feel like
people were able to be there.
just getting out, and
just.
just having. I kind of had the same thing because it was so long since I saw a concert, so I remember like going up and seeing the first band going on, and we were on the balcony. It was just like having the feeling of, oh shit, this is how it actually is watching a concert, and actually like getting almost like fucking emotional, like, yes,
We're back.
culture, music, yes, people standing and actually having fun doing what they want to do.
But when people were standing, they were told to sit down, right?
Yeah,
So that's
but the band is standing.
That's so weird. They won't let them just stand up like in their spot either. I guess they're just afraid they're gonna walk around. But
Yeah.
that's so weird. It has to be a weird feeling playing to people that are just sitting down. Like usually these kinds of shows are like really energetic.
That being said, yes, of course, because to us there's definitely a very physical element of playing live, right? That we're everything is like maxed out and it's more noisy and it's more. We play it 10 times faster than on the album, but fuck that shit, man. It will.
Right. Hey, at least you're able to
we-
play, right? That's the whole goal.
We actually did a show last year where it was a 360 stage.
Yes, and
Sitting down.
with people sitting like in
So-
rows, like in front of us.
So we were just in the middle of it, and then you would just have like seated rows all around of people sitting down. That was really interesting.
That's so weird, man. Well, I mean, I guess I'm gonna ask you what your best, worst, and weirdest show was. I guess those are probably your weirdest shows, right? Does it get weirder for you guys?
Yes, it does. It does. Because I think that was actually because that is something. Playing those shows are something that was meant to be under restrictions. It was something said from the government. It has to be like that. But we played.
And we kind of knew what we were going into.
We knew that was the deal, right?
Yeah.
We take it or leave it. But we played a show in Copenhagen. How many years ago?
I believe it was 3 years ago,
Yeah, something like that.
something like that. They had what's it called? The Ungdomshus, the
Youth house in Copenhagen.
Yeah.
Like
they had a birthday and they actually booked us, but they somehow
This is a famous squat in Copenhagen, right?
yeah. They booked us, but they also actually double booked the place where we were going to play. So
Which was the actual venue.
yeah.
So they had to figure something out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then we got moved to their fitness room up at the attic. They had
They had a full gym up there, right?
full gym, yeah.
Youth house squat gym.
Gym, yeah.
And they were playing there, and they had bars in the room, and it was just like, and there were no stage. It was just a floor show.
Yeah.
And
Just like around all these weights and equipment and shit. That's crazy.
It was
exactly, yes.
I think actually one of the songs from the concert is live on YouTube somewhere.
Oh, really? Okay.
So, yeah.
So you can check it out if you want. We played like shit, but check it out.
We had a fun time.
We had a fun time, yeah.
And we played with some really awesome bands as
We
well.
played with a cool Norwegian band called Sibir, and they were actually they're grown pretty big, but they were touring in Europe, and that was actually their Copenhagen show for some reason.
And Thriller as well.
And Thriller,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Just,
What would you say your best show was?
Oh shit. The first thing that came to my mind was actually a show we did in Aalborg, Tusindfryd. Also like 2 or 3 years ago. Because we do love the small stages. I think we are not able to perform our best when it's on a big stage and we are too far away from the audience and we are too far away from each other. We are very independent on being close to each other and looking each other in the eyes when we play. And I think when we play on Tusindfryd or actually also in Radar in Aarhus, those are places that we played many times and
Tape.
and Tape, of course, yeah, in Aarhus. That was the first thing that came to our mind because they have so small stages and we are so close to the audience. And I really think that's when we perform the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's always
so-
interesting to see how people classify like their best show. Like a lot of bands will say it's the one where they drew the most people or played the best, but y'all's is like being the closest to people. That's really cool.
something like that, yeah, actually, yeah. And it doesn't actually matter how many people are there.
No,
It's not really-
if you kind of get the interaction of the people, whether how many they are there, then it's and
Yeah.
especially on those smaller places because we can kind of get closer to them, and given that we're not that many in the band, and I'm not running around on the stage like a lunatic as well.
You're busy, right?
I have my setup that I have to take care of as well, but I try to come like out of the stage, not physically, but in like being there in some way, and especially the smaller stages help a lot with that. That's kind of harder with the bigger stages.
It's actually pretty beautiful, like saying that you're there to connect like with the people and stuff. Like that's how you know that like y'all are like a true band, like living with convictions and stuff. And it's super great. What would you say your worst show was?
We actually talked about that earlier, and maybe we did a festival in Aarhus where we live, outdoor festival on a very big stage.
And it was actually one of our first shows, maybe the third or something.
Yeah, it
like
was.
that.
Yeah,
And it was broad daylight, and it felt like us coming like out of the cave somehow.
a cube of doom.
Out of the cube of doom, exactly. Yeah, and just facing reality,
Yeah.
and it was just horrible.
In broad daylight.
The world was just horrible because it was broad daylight, and it was a huge stage, and we played like fucking shit. And you wrecked your drumstick, and I broke my string, and it was just like, fuck, what are we doing here, man? Let's get back to the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as you said, like when we talked about it, people just wanted to hear like they wanted to hear like metal.
It was like
and
like
it was
6 or 7 bands, and it was just like true metal, man.
Yeah,
And then
and-
it was,
And then
they weren't fucking ready for weird noisy
No, they won't.
noisy screamy stuff at
2 p.m.
at 2 p.m.
right?
Yeah.
It was just-
and the stage was so big, so we were so far apart from each other. I think a lot of the times I had the feeling like I was just standing there by myself. Like
We were playing 3 different shows.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
And some of the most of the audience were actually not facing us. They were facing having their backs to us.
Facing the bar.
Yes.
Facing the
That was we didn't perform well that day.
is that the only time you guys have played like in the middle of the day?
Yes, I believe so.
But
You've learned from your mistakes. I get it. Okay.
Yeah. Let's never say yes to that again.
Actually, since we're still just a small band, we tend to play like if there's a sequence, we play first,
Yeah.
and it's actually very nice. We like that a
Yeah.
lot, to be like the first band, and to be like the support, and to be like the surprise in a way, to just okay, this was not what I was here for, but
Yeah,
that's the
also
best
because
also.
our set is maybe 30 minutes.
yeah, maximum.
Maximum. That's a good like
Yeah,
intense 30 minutes of
Right.
us. Yeah.
that's enough.
Yeah.
That's definitely enough.
I would have a hard time seeing us play like 1 hour. Then it would be a completely different show. Like then we would have like
You will have your spoken words.
yeah, we would have like spoken word and like ambient sequences and stuff like that. But the intense hierarchy that's like 30 minutes.
Exactly.
Tops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys ever planning to come to America?
If you invite us.
Come on over. Let's do it.
We don't have any plans at the moment, no. Of course, because of COVID.
Yeah.
But
you like you have like the drive to come over. Like you want to come over here.
I mean, if we want to stay with Nefarious, we gotta do it, man. Otherwise, they'll sack us. No, it's fine. The thing is that yeah. I think we come to a point now where we actually have something to show, and that's the trick. But where and how we're gonna do it, we gotta figure that out, and we gotta somehow.
Like we would kill ourselves if we went on a like 30-day tour in the States. We would die within 3 days. So
Yes.
like we have to like figure out in a good way how to do it and set up some like small like intense shows in some way. But it would be so nice to do.
Yeah.
it would.
So you guys are only into like the short tours, then you don't like to be out on the road a lot.
At the moment, not.
No, it has to make sense in a lot of ways. Yeah, like why would you want to like why would we want to do like a month of intense touring versus some small shows? And I know it would be very privileged to say like we want to do the big shows and like do stuff like that, but I think we in our minds we have to say like this is where we can give the most, and in a month tour that would probably not make sense for us.
Because also the time, as we already discussed, we will take time out from doing something else, making videos, doing online presence, or doing whatever else we can do to actually grow the band. Actually, so we have to be smart.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. Got a random question that we ask everybody here. What do you put on your hot dogs?
Remoulade?
John liked that one. I like it.
Yeah. Actually, the thing is, I don't like ketchup
Yeah, I'm not a fan either. It's way too sweet. Way too sweet.
or mustard or French dressing. I don't like all the grease.
Okay.
So my hot dog is like bread, sausage, raw onions.
Okay. I can get behind that. No, like relish and stuff like that then?
You're getting me there. The relish, yeah.
Relish is pretty good,
yeah.
man. It's pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, and if it's a little spicy, but you know, in Sweden you can have a räksalad,
What's that?
shrimp. That's like mayonnaise with the shrimps on top, on shrimps in mayonnaise.
It's a shrimp salad.
Shrimp salad on your hot dog, man.
On your hot
That's-
dog? That sounds pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go for that one. That's the only grease I like.
What about you guys? How do y'all just yours?
But I actually I don't really eat sausages, or I go for the veggie sausages. But I actually like coleslaw.
Okay. Yeah,
On
there's
it,
a lot of
and-
people actually that talk about eating the veggie dogs and stuff. I just can't imagine they taste that great. Are they good?
I've tried a lot of veggie dogs now,
Yes.
and I've really tried a lot of fucking veggie dogs, and I've found two in about maybe 20 different kind of veggie dogs that are good. The others are complete shit. Yeah. But they actually work, and with coleslaw, it's really nice.
All right.
So that's the go-to. That, or I'm very much into what's it called, beets, actually.
like pickled
What's that?
beets?
The red beets,
Yeah, pickled beets.
and actually fermented beets. So a hot dog with fermented beets. Try that shit.
Dude, that sounds good. I like pickled beets a lot, man. That's some good stuff.
And I actually don't have a favorite. I like it all, and I'm always open for new stuff. So bring it, and I'll eat it.
Alrighty, adventurous. I like it.
But I think almost every culinary, like the most chefs has said actually that the Danish hot dog with pickled cucumbers, fried onions, normal onions,
Yes.
and ketchup, mustard,
Yes.
remoulade is like, that's the best combination I've heard.
Okay.
Just to put that
It's
in
the
there,
classic,
because
it's
you
the
have the
classic,
sweet and you have the sour and you have the crunchiness and you have the salty. Like
And
you
in a
have
home baked sourdough
Yeah.
bread, right? Of course, yeah.
Okay. You're selling me. You're selling me on this. I like it.
We'll ship you one. We'll ship you one.
Do it. Your Bandcamp says that this was funded by the Aarhus Commune. I looked it up at the websites in Danish. What is it exactly?
It's actually the municipality of where we live who is funding bands. And it's a nice thing because you have to write your idea and a budget, and then eventually you get some money.
That's awesome, man. How much did they end up giving you?
I think it was like 1,000 grand, actually.
Damn, dude, that's awesome. Holy crap.
Yeah. But that was because we faked the budget, of course. But nonetheless, no, it's
Cut that out.
It's a thing actually
Let me cut out.
that's a privilege of living, for instance, in a country like Denmark, where it's actually possible that people there. I mean, there are like 5 or 6 people who are listening to everything that comes in and say, "Can we see not a financial potential, but a creative potential in this.
Yeah.
And that's actually pretty amazing.
That's a big difference.
That is
Yeah.
insane. Yeah, that's
It's
awesome.
not because it's not whether can they make a business out of it or out of this. No, it's not about that. It's about whether they can actually see this is actually something else, or they have an idea, or they have a Can they present something new?
It's not only like Denmark above state. It's the way down to the municipal, like in that town. And Aarhus, it's the second biggest town in Denmark, but it's still not it's not a big town. But they still see the potential of giving bands the opportunity of actually doing something.
And to some extent, it actually makes sense because we're pretty distinct that we're from Aarhus, or we're not from Copenhagen, right? We're not from the capital. We are something else. We are like in the outskirts. I mean, the Cube of Eternal Doom is like really in the outskirts of Aarhus, but it's still in this area, and somewhat we're finding this is where we are, and this is where we live, and it's super nice that we're also able to get a little bit of funding, because I know in the big picture, right? It's not, but it makes a difference.
$1,000, 100% makes a difference. Yeah, that's insane.
It makes a lot of difference for us.
Are there a lot of bands that get this kind of funding, or is it hard to secure it?
I would say we're in the 20%, maybe.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
I think there's still a lot of bands that actually either don't know that you could actually get it, or just that the process of doing it makes it hard to, because you have to do
you have to do an application. Where you like present your music and you present your ideas and you like.
But also what your expenses are going to be within it as well. So if they end up coming saying, so what did you spend the money on? And we say alcohol. Then of course they would be like, what the fuck?
It's like, hey, it's crucial to the art. It's crucial to the art.
So you still have to you still have to say this is what you actually spend it on. Like you spend money to get money.
Yeah.
That's how it is. Yeah. So it's not getting money. We spend money and then we get the money.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a deal, right?
Yeah.
They're investing in you so that they're like you give back to the economy and stuff like that.
That's
really
it's not just getting money and then we could just party and do whatever the fuck we want. Yeah. No.
That's really crazy. Yeah, that's why they would never do it in America, because that's exactly how people would perceive it, is that you're just giving money to people for like parties and stuff.
But you only get money, that's why you're presenting a budget, right? That you have to show that you're putting money in this yourself, or your management, or your booker, or your label, or whatever, are putting money into it, and then they will like support it.
And then they could end up coming at any time saying, we want to see a full-on
full-on accounting
on what did you spend it on actually. Yeah,
that's cool. Did y'all have to like submit your music and stuff?
Yes.
So somebody there listened to your music and was like, dude, this is the shit.
That's what I'm saying.
But
it's about, and that's why we're humble about this, because they chose us because of the music, not because of the business plan, because the business plan is horrible, right? It's really because they're actually someone listening to this and saying, I might not understand this shit, but I can see that it's okay. I haven't heard this shit before.
That's awesome. Whatever. That's so cool.
Yeah, so actually a person sitting there with having a creative, artistic kind of like putting that view on stuff and saying, check, go. Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, I definitely cut you off.
It was just to say that also that when we talk about the whole thing about us not like when people not knowing what it sounds like, when we send this stuff to the Aarhus municipal, this is not something they've heard before. So that's probably also one of the reasons this is not something normal from Aarhus.
Okay, yeah. So you guys screen print your own t-shirts and stuff. You're actually wearing one now, John. So all the shirts that are sold like on the labels site and stuff are screen printed by you guys then?
No.
No. Okay. So is it just the ones that you guys are selling?
Yes.
Yeah. We're doing some for the tour that are gonna be screen printed, and eventually they're gonna end up online.
Okay, so the
Yeah.
ones that you're selling right now on your Bandcamp aren't those ones then? That's something else.
Actually, it's a picky situation because the thing is that actually it's only the US market nowadays that have t-shirts available. You cannot buy a t-shirt in Europe. Yes, you can, but then you have to pay the custom fee, right?
Okay.
But you can actually get a t-shirt now in the States, but that's printed by Nefarious.
Okay, that's really weird. You guys being based in Denmark and that's that's great. So you guys also have vinyl and you have did you have cassettes too? Or?
Yeah. We used to have vinyl, or we still have a few copies. That's a trick, right? Because Nefarious have like 25 vinyls left in the US, and we have like maybe 50 vinyls left here, and then there will be no more because it's not possible to print vinyls in Europe nowadays. The queue is like 1 year or something like that. And if we say today, yes, we want to print these, then they can have it ready in 10 months.
Yeah, I think my last album took 6 months to get pressed. Yeah,
Yes.
the line is pretty insane right now.
The line is fucked up.
I just realized that we went through this without talking about the cover art because John wasn't in the room at the time. But I threw it up on the stream. Tell me what the cover art's about.
It's a good time now, actually, because that's actually what you get if you buy the vinyl, right?
Yeah,
Um,
buy the vinyl.
Please buy the vinyl.
There's a lot of topics in the artwork, but just like the main like it's fucking hard talking about because it's so many thoughts going into that, and I think especially the whole sleeve thing is actually my thoughts, our thoughts, and just kind of the mix of a madman just scribbling stuff down, like taking something in and doing like quick notes of everything and every thought that comes to mind.
That being the sleeve, right?
The sleeve,
The inner
yeah,
sleeve.
yeah, the inner sleeve of the cover. But the front cover holds a lot of different kind of metaphors into it. But some of them would be kind of the thing about wanting not to be a participant or wanting to watch something, but you still want to. Like you want to cover your eyes, but you still want to kind of be a bystander in some way.
Like watching a car wreck or something.
Yeah, exactly. Wanting to watch something that you shouldn't watch, actually, in some way. But also just, being a bystander to something that you could probably actually do a change to, but still watching it from afar.
And not doing anything about it.
Not doing any, or not knowing what to do, or just kind of standing by. Yeah, being there in a lot of ways. Yeah, but then there's the whole part of someone kind of covering also your face in a lot of ways, not wanting you to watch those things, but you kind of want to watch it. So you kind of have the contradiction of it.
Okay.
In that thing. Yeah.
Why is there a reason why the face is red, or is it just because it looks awesome?
Maybe.
Just because it looks awesome. Okay, hey, that's cool, man. That's cool. It looks really good.
There's a couple of things about that, but I don't want to go into details, but because then it kind of gets too kind of watered out, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. You guys put so much thought into everything that you guys have done for the band. It's amazing.
It's hard not to.
Actually, Chris, I have this one screen dump that I do not want to show, but you about the color variations. Do you remember it? We talked a lot about this. It's
kilometers long.
It's like
Really? Just for the different colors on the cover? That's hilarious.
the graphics is the same, but the colors are shit.
There've been many variations.
But
looking at this now, it's right.
It's the perfect.
Oh yeah, it looks so good. It looks really good. Even though it's super simple looking, it's just I don't know how to describe it, but it's so good.
But that's the thing, like I don't think anything, or we could easily find parts about either the composition or something where it was something that we just did like this. But I think the majority of everything into this has like so many hours of thought into it. Nothing is just made up because it's
and compromises. Right?
Yeah. Because every like all three of us has a lot of meanings about a lot of stuff. So it's not just throwing something in to this and saying this is how it has to be, because you would then end up having three different kind of perspectives on it, and then going into, so how can we direct this into HIRAKI perspective in other ways. So but most of the time it's and that's also kind of the bliss and the curse, maybe, that we have to discuss everything that we do. We can't just do stuff and say this is how it is.
Yeah. Or there are no one to tell us this is how you're gonna do it. Yeah.
Except for the Danish government when they come in asking you why you spent your money all on liquor.
Yeah.
But I totally agree. I don't think there's anything about HIRAKI that actually is just there just to look cool.
No.
Everything has something to it.
And has a meaning, yeah.
Yeah.
Whether it be a different meaning for us three or for the ones looking at it. And that's the whole idea about it, but it's not something where this would just look cool.
But that being said, if it looked like shit, we would discard it, right?
Yeah, of course. It would.
Well, it looks cool as hell, man. So, what was the last song or album you listened to?
Actually, I listened to this Health and Nine Inch Nails track.
Yeah,
Just biking here. It's really sick. It's super simple, but just like everything about it is just amazing.
It's really up there,
yeah.
And then, do you know a Eurovision Song Contest?
I think so. It's like our American Idol, right? It's a singing competition, right?
No, not really, because it's not like someone trying to break through. It's actually artists who are picked to play this.
From every country.
And then it's countries.
It's countries.
Oh, so it's like the Olympics.
Yeah, but it's
in a way.
But it's European countries. Yeah, competing against each other. Yeah.
Okay.
In music.
Yeah.
In music and in stage performance. In how weird can you make this shit? And it was yesterday, so that is actually top of my mind.
Or how fucking epic you can make this.
How fucking, if you have all. There's no limits to the funding or no limits to the budget. You can have the stage show you want.
Yeah.
Okay, I want angels coming down. Yes, you can have it.
Of course.
And
fireworks, and then you have fireworks. Yes, no problem. Bring in the angels.
So when's HIRAKI getting on that?
Next year, of course.
Next year?
But
Sounds good.
actually, we played with some people some years ago from Iceland. And they were good musicians, and they played because Iceland is a fairly small country, right? So every good musician, at some point, they played backing drums in the Eurovision Song Contest, and they're like 80,000 millions of people watching it. Yeah, 80,000 million people. Yeah.
You just got to move to Iceland then.
Yeah, exactly.
Good idea.
It's cold enough here.
What about you other guys? What was the last thing y'all listened to?
I can tell yesterday I listened to the newest record by Trandemøller, a Danish. Well, he's not electronic anymore. He's more like post-punk dude, DJ.
Yeah, but super famous, right?
Super famous, yeah.
Super. Still.
Yeah, I listened to his record yesterday. I think it's called Obscure. Obscure? I don't remember. Sorry. It's a very, very good record. You should check that out.
What about you, John?
Actually, it's a record called Litanines, which Nick Cave actually produced some of the part or composed some of the parts. It's a classical record. It's really really beautiful and really weird in a lot of ways. With someone called I can't remember his name, Nicholas or something. It's those two.
Become yourself.
Exactly. It's very beautiful.
Yeah, it's
if you're
really
into the whole
beautiful.
kind of classical
Yeah.
ambient thing, Litanines. That's really nice. Yeah.
I'm actually writing that down. But that's super interesting. That like that's where what you guys listen to in your spare time. What about album of the year, either for last year or up to this point this year?
Yeah, Godspeed You, Black Emperor.
I'm sorry, what?
Do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. The Canadian constellation, Godspeed You, Black Emperor.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They're great.
They just released a new album. And I mean, when we were young, or when we started playing, or at least when I started playing music, it was like in the past because they had they were like flourishing around the millennium, like 2099 or something like that. And then they were into hiatus, and now they're just producing albums, and it's just amazing. It's just fantastic. It's just it's post rock, right? Like. They're the godfathers of post-rock, if Mogwai is not. And it's just amazing because I've heard so many post-rock bands nowadays and it's all the same fucking boring shit. But somehow, Godspeed You, Black Emperor, they managed to create like beautiful themes that I cannot imagine how they come up with.
Yeah. They still just like hit the nail.
It's just, I mean,
yeah.
The themes are like the riffs are just gorgeous. It's just.
I haven't heard their latest yet. I need to check that out.
That like.
Shit.
I think we discussed it actually, and I've heard more people actually say that the newest album is the most coherent in a lot of ways, but it's still just like full on Godspeed You Black Emperor,
But, yeah.
where they have these like build-ups and they just go like full on with the different guitar harmonies that just like noise into each other, and you have the violins and the brass and cello as well, and just the percussionists. It's yeah,
you can make that shit up.
no,
It's
just
just
beautiful.
genuine. Yeah, divine, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Yeah, I actually thought a lot about it, the 2020, and then I just checked what I actually listened the most to, and then it suddenly just hit me that the album that I listened the most to, and probably that I have the most emotional attached part to, is actually Proto-Martyr from Detroit, the Almost Success Now album.
Yeah.
Proto-Matu, is that how you said it?
Proto-Martyr, yeah, Proto-Martyr, yeah. They have this kind of post-punkish, waveish kind of thing, and I actually found out later that some of them are actually good friends with the Armed.
Oh, okay.
They know each other. Yeah.
Everybody knows. Yeah.
Everybody knows everybody in Detroit. But yeah, I listened to that album so much, and it's so good. And we actually saw them, Protomata, at Tape.
It's super small venue in Aarhus.
Yeah, really nice. But actually, the first place that we played in Aarhus, which was Tape, which is closed now, but a legendary fucking place in Aarhus, Denmark. And we played there with Hexes, which is a Danish blackened hardcore band.
Yeah, they're sick.
Yeah, Philip, who is actually featured on the EP. We actually did the feature on the EP on the first
Modern Genes, right?
He's featured on that one, and he was like,
"Oh, really?"
So yeah, and he was like, "So you want to play with us?" And we ended up playing with them.
Yeah, and we made a good deal because actually it was actually Tim who was like proactive, saying, "So okay, Phil, can we do something here? And yeah, you can play with us if you want to. Yeah, that would be fine. Can you come to the studio prior to that and then maybe record some vocals for our EP?" Yeah, whatever, man.
Yeah.
It was fine. The Hexes, they went into the cube of Thermo Doom and they were hanging out. And
Philip was then, okay, so you want to play with us? Yeah, sure. Okay, cool. We'll go into the studio, hit you up. I'll do some vocals. We'll go in and we'll do a show. So
Nice.
yeah.
But that was the venue where we saw Protomata, right? That was the point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, the tape we saw Protomata and it was just amazing.
Check it out because it's this guy who used to do accounting and then at some point he found out that my life is shit. I want to be a rock and roll singer. And then he started doing this, and he wore a jacket where you were able to have like four beers in his jacket, so you can wear this and then.
And it was really shitty Danish beers that he was just hanging in his jacket, but it was so it just made the whole thing just even more beautiful with him just having these glass bottles just hanging there and with just like the microphone, and he's such a great lyricist. Like yeah. It just makes it made so much sense. Yeah. Protomata. Check them out.
Dude, I wrote them down. I'm gonna definitely check them out. What about you, Tim? What was your album of the year, either for last year or up to this point?
Last year, actually, I have no idea if this album actually came out last year, but this was the first one I remembered. The newest album from Headwood City. Was that last year?
No, that's. I can't remember.
Never mind.
That's a cool year. Yeah.
It's a great
but it's
band.
still a great fucking album.
It is a very good album.
Great album.
It's if you don't know them, it's members of the old band Blood Brothers and the drummer from the Locusts and the guitarist from Yeah Yeah Yeahs, and it's a power group of musicians playing in this hardcore. I get so much nostalgia listening to that record because I love the Blood Brothers, I love the Locust, and of course also some of the things that Nick Sinner did early on with Yes and all of his other bands, and it is a hell of a record. You should really check that one out.
I'm pretty sure I've listened to it, but I don't remember. It's been a long time. I need to revisit it definitely. Yeah, the Locust and Blood Brothers are absolutely insane, amazing.
They are, yeah.
But yeah, it's about all I had to talk about. Unless you guys had something else you wanted to bring up.
I want to ask you when you chose to have a chat with HIRAKI, would you imagine us sitting? Looking at us right now in this setting, was this actually what you expected, or what did you expect?
A lot of times bands will just be like chilling on a couch, or people will be calling in from separate areas and stuff. And
but is corporate. It's corporate, right?
Definitely the most put together scene we've had so far. You got the nice candle lit. You got the wine.
We're a visual band, so
it's actually an original painting, right?
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Did y'all paint it or?
No.
No. An artist called Mormor painted.
Grandma.
Grandma.
It's just a green screen. Everything is green screen, right?
Yeah.
Just,
This is actually green screen.
yeah.
No, it looks really good. It looks really good. Y'all did good on it. But I'm just gonna move on to the outro. If you're looking to go on a strange, weird journey, check out "Stumbling Through the Walls," the new album from HIRAKI, who was dropped back in April through Nefarious Industries. You guys are on Facebook, Instagram, Bandcamp, and YouTube. Especially check out the YouTube. You're also on all streaming platforms. Are there any other social plugs? Anything I'm missing?
No.
Instagram. No.
Alrighty. As for me, drop my channel follow so you always know when I go live. You can also sub to get access to the interviews before they hit YouTube and streaming services, as well as some exclusive emotes. You can also sub for free by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. It's like taking $5 from Jeff Bezos' pocket and putting it into mine. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's a good one, right? It's a good one. Always gets the laughs. I love it. But find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. YouTube folks, if you like the video, please drop a like, click the notification bell. Don't forget to subscribe. It's a great way to support me for free. Check out my music, The Sound That Ends Creation, at thesoundthatindscreation.bandcamp.com. My next guest is UK-based one-man avant-garde death grind act, Feed Them Death. Join us this Wednesday, the 26th at 12 p.m. Central, right here at twitch.tv/thecast.inspiration for the live cast. Yeah, it's a hell of a genre, right? It's hard to do. But thank y'all for being here. I hope you had a good time.
We did.
Cheers,
Thank
man.
you, Chris, man.
Cheers.
Thank you so much,
Thanks for
Chris.
having us.
And thank
Much
you guys for
appreciated.
watching and listening.